Nepal Rashtra Bank has said that cryptocurrencies that are currently prohibited by Nepal's existing legal arrangements are financially risky and cannot be brought into use in the country because of several other economic challenges. Good evening, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Hearing on the writ filed against Rashtriya Swatantra Party chairperson Ravi Lammichhane is slated for today postponed due to legal complications. Another hearing to be scheduled. Deadline for registering grievances on candidacies for the House by-election concludes. 4 grievances filed against Ravi Lammichhane. Election Commission to publish final list of candidates tomorrow. Authorities working to douse a massive fire that raged through a shopping complex with 3,000 shops in Bangladesh capital Dhaka. Most of these shops burnt to ashes. And Pushpa Bhandari of Armed Police Force and Sanjay Shrestha of Nepal Army win Sahara Half Marathon. Winners in both categories received equal cash prize of 51,000 rupees. Hearing on the writ filed against Rashtriya Swatantra Party chairperson Ravi Lammichhane has not been held today and has been postponed. The writ was to be heard at the single bench of Justice Anil Kumar Sinha. Now, prior to this, Justice Sinha was a member of the Constitutional Bench, which had issued a verdict regarding the citizenship case of Lammichhane. Another hearing on the writ will now be scheduled. The writ filed by Yuvraj Paudel yesterday was placed 9th in the single bench of Justice Sinha today. Prior to this, Office of the Attorney General had decided not to file a case against Lammichhane for his misuse of the passport. Lammichhane had taken a Nepali passport while having an American passport, and a complaint was registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs for investigation into the matter. Paudel had filed the writ against 8 entities, including Lammichhane and the Office of the Attorney General. Now, deadline for registering grievances against the candidacies registered for the by-election of the House of Representatives in Tanahu Electoral Constituency 1, Chitwan 2 and Bara 2 was set for today. It has been learned that a total of 4 grievances have been registered against Rashtriya Swatantra Party chairperson Ravi Lammichhane, who is a candidate at Chitwan Electoral Constituency 2. A total of 69 candidacies were registered from parties and independent candidates in the 3 electoral constituencies. The Election Commission had allocated until today for filing grievances against any candidacies. Investigation on the grievances will be held tomorrow before the publication of the final list of candidates. Ravi Lammichhane, who was elected to the House of Representatives and also appointed the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Home Affairs before losing his status as a parliamentarian, alongside those who had lost in the previous elections, including Upendra Yadav, Sarvendra Khanal and Shiva Chandra Prasad Kuswaha, are contesting at the April 23rd by-election. Against the candidacy of Janata Samajwadi Party chairperson Upendra Yadav in Bara from the ruling coalition, C.K. Rath-led Janamat Party has fielded Shiva Chandra Prasad Kuswaha. CPN-UML has put forward Purushottam Paudel, while Ramesh Kharel is the candidate of Rashtriya Swatantra Party. The electoral constituency had gone vacant after member of the House of Representatives Ram Sahaya Prasad Yadav was elected as the vice president. In Chitwan 2, Rashtriya Swatantra Party chair Ravi Lammichhane is up against Jit Narayan Shrestha of Nepali Congress and Ram Prasad Neupane of CPN-UML. The by-election is being held in Chitwan as the parliamentarian status of Lammichhane was scrapped on the 20th of November following the verdict of the Supreme Court regarding the legitimacy of his citizenship certificate. In Tanahu 1, the position had gone vacant as Ramchandra Paudel was elected the president. Nepali Congress has fielded Govinda Bhattrai, CPN-UML has put forward Sarvendra Khanal, while Swarnim Wagle is the candidate of Rashtriya Swatantra Party in that electoral constituency. CPN-UML has quit the Madhya province government. 4 ministers of CPN-UML and a state minister furnished their resignation to Province Chief Minister Saroj Kumar Yadav. Chief Minister Yadav had given until this evening for the ministers of CPN-UML to furnish their resignation following the change in political equation at the centre. The ministers submitted their resignation instantly after the province parliamentary party meeting. In less than 4 days of the agreement between the government and a group of victims of loan sharks, another group of victims has begun its protest programs. terming the 5-point agreement between the government and the group of victims fake. Another group of victims of loan sharks, which arrived Kathmandu yesterday, has held a protest at Shanti Patika today. They have alleged the government of failing to ensure justice by reaching another agreement even before implementing the past consensus. The new group has also alleged the previous group of loan shark victims of reaching an agreement for their political interests. Taxi operators who had been providing services at the Tribhuvan International Airport have protested against the high parking fee. The taxi operators who began their sit-in protest at the gate for arrivals at the airport yesterday have halted their services today as well and continued their protest. The taxi operators have said that hike of the parking fee from 20 rupees per hour to 80 rupees per hour has added further plight to them. According to the umbrella organization of the taxi operators, their grievances have been ignored by the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal, CAN. The company, named IMS Airport Services, has been leasing the land of the airport and has been operating the parking space. The taxi operators had protested against the hike in the parking fee earlier as well. Nepal Rashtra Bank has concluded that cryptocurrencies are risky and therefore could not be brought into operation. Issuing the analytical report on the risks related to cryptocurrencies, Nepal Rashtra Bank has concluded that they are risky. The central bank has said that in addition to the nation, transactions of cryptocurrencies were also risky for those involved in their transactions. The report adds that transactions related to cryptocurrencies led to depletion of foreign reserve, negative impact in remittance and further economic challenges. The Nepal Rashtra Bank has been prohibiting cryptocurrencies in Nepal through the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. Now, as per the report of the Rashtra Bank, around 23,000 different cryptocurrencies are in use around the world, of which the largest share is of Bitcoin at 42%. The Ministry of Health and Population has said that a new variant of the coronavirus Omicron, XBB.1.16, has been detected in Nepal. In the additional tests carried out by the National Public Health Laboratory on 24 PCR and antigen tests throughout the country, the Health Ministry has informed that the Omicron variant was detected on all the 24 samples and the new variant was found in 10 samples. Meanwhile, the number of coronavirus cases has been rising in Nepal of late. In the PCR tests conducted last week, 247 people tested COVID-19 positive. Doctors have said that coronavirus has been detected in patients who have arrived at hospitals with complaints including fever, dry cough and headache. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health and Population has urged people to follow necessary public health protocols as well. The Butwal-Tansin Road section under the Siddhartha Highway has been halted for 9 hours each day starting today. The road section will halt operation for 9 hours each day as construction works of a tunnelway at Siddha Baba in the border region of Rupandehi and Palpa has commenced. Construction company China State Construction Engineering Corporation has begun works for a diversion as well. Considering the risks of falling of large stones and debris, the operation of the road will be halted between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. According to the Highway Security Committee, there will be no obstruction in the operation of vehicles of essential services, including the ambulances. Agricultural equipment have been distributed to farmers in Sankwa with the objective of transforming traditional practices with modern agriculture techniques. The Prime Minister Agriculture Modernization Project has distributed modern agriculture equipment to several groups of farmers, agro-farms and cooperatives. According to the Project Implementation Unit Sankwa in charge Navaraj Gurung, the modern agriculture equipment have been distributed in aid to the farmers of the cardamom and orange zones along with vegetable block regions. Pipes for irrigation have also been distributed at a subsidy of 75% to 35 farmers of the orange zone of Sankwa and 29 of Bhojpur. More news: the number of domestic and foreign tourists has increased in the Khorepani Punhel region of Annapurna Rural Municipality, Ward number 6 in Myagdi. The number of tourists visiting the region has increased during the season where national flower of Nepal, rhododendron, is in full bloom. One of the most popular destinations under the Annapurna circuit, Punhel, which is located at an altitude of 3,210 meters above the sea level, has witnessed a large number of tourists reaching to witness the beautiful sunrise along with the Dhaulagiri and Annapurna mountain ranges. The local residents and businesses are enthused with the increase in the number of tourists visiting the Khorepani Punhel region. Tourism in the area had suffered severely after the coronavirus pandemic. Now, the project to identify Gaurisankar Rural Municipality, Ward number 7, Marbu, under the Gaurisankar Conservation Area as the Red Panda Zone has remained stranded. A proposal for the program to identify the region as Red Panda Zone was taken forward by the Gaurisankar Rural Municipality and the Conservation Area with the objective of protecting the rare red panda and promoting tourism in the area. And despite the rural municipality proceeding with the project to develop Marbu, which includes the natural habitat of the rare animal as the Red Panda Zone, adequate interest has not been paid regarding budget allocation. According to the Gaurisankar Conservation Area, the project has remained stranded because of inadequate budget and human resources. The 6th Yak Festival is slated to begin on the 13th of April in Falelung of Pasthar. At a press meet, the organizers have informed that the Yak Festival will be held at Falelung, Ward number 4, Char Rathe. According to Deputy Chair of Falelung Rural Municipality, Mahendra Jawegu, the festival is being organized with the objective of promoting conservation of yak and products related to yak. According to the organizers, tourists from Nepal and Bhutan, along with Punjab, West Bengal and Kolkata of India are to visit the festival, which will exhibit more than 500 yaks. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why has the government's decision to cut down on unnecessary expenses not been implemented? Your options are A. Indifferent to financial crisis, B. Government itself spending too much, and C. Non-cooperation from bureaucracy. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the international news. Authorities were working today to douse a massive fire that raged through a shopping complex with 3,000 shops in Bangladesh's capital of Dhaka. There were no casualties reported so far in the fire, which began in the early hours this morning, but army personnel had been called in to help after flames spread rapidly in the cramped, crowded area of Banga Bazar, home to the country's famed cloth markets. Fire service official Rasid bin Khalid said 55 units were working to douse the fire, the cause of which was not known immediately. Most of the shops were burnt to ashes in the fire, but there was no information on whether any people were trapped inside, given that the fire broke in the early hours of the morning before most shops had opened. At least one person was killed and 30 injured, many seriously, when a passenger train carrying at least 50 people derailed in the Netherlands early on Tuesday after hitting a construction crane. Rescue teams ferried away the injured in pre-dawn darkness at the scene of the accident in Voorschoten, a village near The Hague. The accident occurred at around 3:25 a.m. local time, emergency services have said. 19 people were taken to hospital. Others were being treated on the spot, the emergency services have informed. Dutch Railways official Carola Belderbos said the train collided with the crane and the injured included the driver and 2 conductors. The front carriage of the night train from Leiden city to The Hague then derailed and ploughed into a field, emergency services said. The second carriage was on its side and a fire broke out in the rear carriage but was extinguished. Earlier reports said the passenger train had collided with a freight train. Several investigations had been initiated, including by the company itself, the police and the Dutch Safety Board, which looks into serious accidents. Dutch Railways said that the local trains between Leiden and parts of The Hague, one of the busiest routes in the Netherlands, were cancelled for the rest of the day because of the accident. Prime Minister Mark Rutte and the Netherlands royal family were among those who expressed their sympathy for the victims. Australia banned TikTok on Tuesday from all federal government-owned devices over security concerns, becoming the latest US allied country to take action against the Chinese-owned video app. The ban underscores growing worries that China could use the Beijing-based company owned by ByteDance Limited to harvest users' data to advance its political agenda, undermining Western security interests. It also risks renewing diplomatic tension between Australia and its largest trading partner after things eased somewhat since Prime Minister Anthony Albanese took office in May at the head of the Labour government. With Australia's ban, all members of the so-called Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, which consists of Australia, Canada, the United States, Britain and New Zealand, have banned the app from government devices. France, Belgium and the European Commission have announced similar bans as well. Now, China warns U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy today not to meet with Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen, as it would violate the One China policy and seriously damage China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Republican McCarthy, the third most senior U.S. leader after the president and vice president, will host a meeting in California on Wednesday with Tsai during a sensitive stopover in the United States that has prompted Chinese threats of retaliation. Tsai will make what is formally called a transit in L.A. on her way back to Taipei after a trip to Central America. The United States says such stopovers are common practice and there is no need for China to overreact. China, which claims Taiwan as its own territory, staged war games around the island last August after then Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, visited the capital Taipei. Russia said it launched attacks on multiple fronts and shot down Ukrainian drones, while Ukraine said it had repelled rounds of Russia's offensive in Bakhmut, according to the official briefings of the two countries on Monday. The Russian Ministry of Defense said on Monday that the Russian army launched offensives in multiple directions as Kupiansk, Liman and Donetsk. Russian air defense forces intercepted multiple rockets and shot down multiple drones as well.
Sports News.
Pushpa Bhandari of Armed Police Force and Sanjay Shrestha of Nepal Army have won the Sahara Half Marathon. In the competition held in Charpane of Jhapa, Pushpa completed the distance in 1 hour, 21 minutes, 17 seconds. Rekha Bista of Nepal Police finished second with a timing of 1 hour, 24 minutes and 34 seconds, while Sumitra Chaudhary, also of Police, finished third. In the men's category, Sanjay Shrestha finished first as he clocked 1 hour, 6 minutes, 22 seconds. Simon Kiplagato of Kenya was second with 1 hour, 7 minutes and 17 seconds, while Manoj Joshi of Army finished third. Winners of both categories received 51,000 rupees in cash prize, while those in the second position walked away with 31,000, followed by 21,000 rupees for third finishers. A total of 534 athletes of countries, including Nepal, had participated at the event. So that is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin airs at 10:30 p.m. tonight. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.